We return back to the tale of the White Forest. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. The tragedy of Diabels, the Sinful Spoils, White Forest, Azamina, and Diabel support. And I want to preface this and say here that this does not feel like all of the support just yet. I feel like there's more kind of based on what we're just kind of dealing with here. So the first up is the Azamina, a set of the White Forest. And this card looks sick. This is on a level 2 illusion effect monster, and it is not a tuner monster. So before you're like, huh? No, we're maintaining what we're doing here. So you can only use the first, second, and third effects of this card's name once per turn. So you can reveal this card in your hand, special summon a White Forest or Azamina monster from your hand. Oh cool, so this can bring itself out, because it doesn't say another. During your main phase, you can fusion summon an Azamina fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So we have a built-in poly on effect monster. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can add a Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. I like that a lot. The fact that we can use this in White Forest as an extender to be able to deploy itself, and then we can go add, Deception from the deck to the hand. That's pretty gosh darn good. The only thing I'm curious about here, though, is this going to be a 1 of, or a 2 of, or are you going to max this as a 3 of? Because I don't personally think that this would be a 3 of. It just feels like a very good 1 to 2 splash in the deck. And then in case, you get the chance to see the synchro lines, well, congratulations, you got the free ad. So I'll take that initially. Next up is the Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. Okay, so we really do got some Madoka Magica vibes going on with this set. So it is a quick play spell. Oh boy, here we go again. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. So if we control a fiend, illusion, or a spellcaster monster, activate one of these effects. So we can special summon a fiend, illusion, or a spellcaster monster from the hand, okay. Or we can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. Our second effect of this card is send the graveyard to activate a monster effect. We can set it back to the field. Now remember, this is a quick play. You are not going to get any value off of this, by, resetting it. It's just going to be one of those things that, hey, I have a quick play fusion going into the next turn, or I could drop Diabels from my hand. I think the major thing with this that they're doing here is they want you to be able to use this support to interact with the Azamina cards and actually be able to hard fusion some of them. Because with the first wave of support, the idea was, hey, you have these power cards. You have access to these. But, you can cheat them out with a Sacred Azamina. It's kind of funny because they made all the cheat methods to make this. Now they're reverse building into this, the fairer ways to access these cards. So that's interesting. And then we have play the Diabel. Okay. I see that it looks like Diabel here, I feel like has gotten some new forms here. Kind of feels like, how kind of Fallen of Albaz is kind of developing in the later half of the story. Also, I like how this is named Diabel. So you can use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. So if a spell traps is sent to the graveyard to activate a card effect, you can send an illusion monster from your hand deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Well, that's very interesting. During your main phase, you can banish 3 spells and traps from your graveyard, including this card. Special summon a Diabel monster from your graveyard. Now, why? I wish it was banish 3, special 1 from the deck. Like, I feel like if I'm banishing 3, that needs to be my investment on this. But I guess to be fair, you do have a method to revive Diablaze to have that condition set up with it. Because, once again, they're trying to get this stuff to, this first effect's going to set you up for the Diablaze here. So that's fine. You just have to have enough spells and traps in the graveyard for you to do the thing. But the problem is, Wanted wants to go back, or Wanted wants to be banished. You have Sacred Azamina, the ones go back to the hand. Deception's going to reset itself. So this kind of feels counterintuitive for what you're doing out here. And then we have Like the Diabel. which, this feels like the story of a witch before she becomes a witch. It's kind of what I was feeling here. I do take note of here, you do have like some test tubes up here and things like that. You do kind of see, maybe an origin story developing here. So this is a quick play spell card. So you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. Okay. So if a spell or traps is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, set one spell and trap card from your hand or graveyard, but it cannot be activated this turn. Oh, okay. Fancy! During your main phase, you can banish 3 spell and traps from your graveyard, including this card. Special summon a Diabel monster from your hand or graveyard. Why does this feel like Konami just opened up the door to make a searcher that says search a spell or trap card with Diabel in the name? Because that's kind of what this feels like they're alluding to here. You know, you have 2 cards here that both systematically interact with putting a Diabel from the graveyard or the hand onto the field. Very interesting, actually. I like that idea. Then we have the Sinful Spoils Awakening. Oh boy. So this is kind of looks like Diabel's madness. It's kind of the beginning here. Also like the windmill in the back here. Man, she literally just kill shot at the windmill. So normal trap card, you can only use one of the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn, and only once that turn. Oh, this is our favorite classification of things. So if you control a level 5 or higher illusion monster, and your opponent controls 3 or more monsters, target up to 3 cards they control and return them to the hand. Excuse me. Okay. If you control a level 5 or higher illusion monster, and this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Ah, I see. So during our opponent's turn, we'll be using this to bounce 3 cards back to their hand, and then on our turn, we'll be using this to reset it back to our field, to reuse it again during the opponent's turn as a bounce. Oh, how could I forget that? That's it's pretty cool. I think the biggest thing that we got out of this support, I'm going to be honest with you, I think is the Azamina set of the White Forest itself. The special summon extender and the ability to search for a Sinful Spoils card when used as synchro material is invaluable. I love that. I think the card's good. The fusion mechanic is pretty cool, but these 2 spell cards interact alright, but this big bounce, I guess, could have a little bit of value out here in the future. So this stuff is looking not too bad. But what do you guys think? Please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.